Have you been to Emmaus? Haven't you been to Emmaus? I think you have been. And you will tell me whether you have been or not after the Mass. Emmaus is said to be a walking distance from Jerusalem to Emmaus. It's a short distance. Don't you ever think you have been? Emmaus may not necessarily be a place. Emmaus could be a situation in your life. Emmaus could be a habit that you are going through. Emmaus could be an addiction. Emmaus could be a bad patch in your life. The request of the risen Lord, or before that, was to remain in Jerusalem, then after that to go to Jerusalem. But we find these two disciples, followers, going along the opposite direction. Emmaus is walking from the obedience to the disobedience. Emmaus is going from the presence of God. Jerusalem is supposed to be where the temple was. Therefore, the presence of God was there. At least once a year, a true Jew was expected to come to Jerusalem. So, Jerusalem is the presence of God, but these disciples are going to Emmaus, to the absence of God. Jerusalem is a sign of a light. Emmaus is a sign of darkness. Jerusalem is a sign of hope. Emmaus is a sign of despair. Haven't you still been to Emmaus? God's promise is difficult to understand in our life. When difficulties occur in our life, one after the other, we tend to make that short distance walk from Jerusalem to Emmaus. It's human. It's very short. From obedience to disobedience, it's a short walk. From hope to despair, it's a short walk, short journey. From light to darkness, it's a short walk, Emmaus. I was wondering whether to share this old story once again. Definitely you have heard that. The story of a man whom God promises that he would walk with him along the journey. So both of them start walking along the sea shore. And naturally when we walk, we leave the footprints of our foot. And so they start walking. After some time, the gentleman walks back and observes there is the footprints of only one person walking. And he begins to reflect, well, we have the footmarks of two persons walking. Those are the good times I had in my life. Then I come across the footpath of only one person. Those are the moments when I had the difficulties in my life. And he accuses God. Well, you promised that you would be walking with me all the way, but when the difficulties had come, you had left me. Look at the marks which are on the shore. God replies, it's true. At the beginning of the journey, we have the footmarks of 2 persons. Then there are the gaps where you find only 1 person walking. Those are the times when you had difficulties in your life. And when you had difficulties in your life, you did not walk, I carried you. So those are the footmarks of me and not yours. Jesus had his doubts. God promised him. But the promise of God did not come at the Garden of Gethsemane. The promise of God did not come to Jesus on Good Friday. The promise of God to Jesus did not come even on the Holy Saturday. The promise came only on the Easter Sunday. We have our own difficulties. When we have our own difficulties in life, being human, we tend to have our own life program. Emmaus is not an extraordinary city in the Bible. Already before 175 years BC, the Israelites, they were going through persecution from a king of a Greek king. He was desecrating the temple of Jerusalem and persecuting the people. And at Emmaus, the people killed this king and his soldiers. So Emmaus is a sign of human victory, human effort. And these 2 followers want to make a human victory. They have encountered failure because they had given up everything for the sake of their master. Now who has been betrayed and killed, and now he is dead according to them. So their hopes are shattered. They want to make their own decision in their life. They journey towards Emmaus to find their own solution as human beings. They experience the absence of God in their lives, despair, hopelessness, darkness, disobedience. That is the way to Emmaus. But luckily, these 2 followers, as they encounter the Lord in the breaking of the bread, they get back to Jerusalem. So, still haven't you been to Emmaus in your life? We have been. We experience all what these 2 disciples have gone through. It is easy to give up hope. It is easy to give in to despair in life, to darkness, to disobedience, to experience a patch of absence of God in one's life. But we encounter the Lord at the breaking of the bread, even today. Each time when we break the bread, the Eucharist, we encounter the Lord. So, though we are raised, we are still dead. We celebrated Easter, but still, we must not have experienced our own personal Easter in our life. We must be still in Emmaus. We have to get back to Jerusalem. Then, to experience our own personal Easter in our lives.